What is up, everybody? Reed Wallach from BetSided here. And I know most of you are transitioning over from the NFL season. The Super Bowl just wrapped up. You now want to look at the next big thing, and that's college basketball. The NCAA Tournament is right around the corner. And I'm here to give you kind of a Spark Notes, Cliff Notes version of what's been going on around the national landscape. And a few teams you're probably going to be hearing from come tournament time. So let's start at the top. The favorite right now, WynnBET Sportsbook, to cut down the nets, Gonzaga. They're plus 450 right now. And I know you're saying, how is this team still here? They just lost last year in the national championship. How could they be just as good? Well, they actually might be better. They are one of three. They are the third highest team right now in KenPom's adjusted efficiency rating, behind the 2015 Kentucky team and last year's team. So this Gonzaga team holds up historically. They have the number one recruit from last season, Chet Holmgren. He's revitalized their defense. They still have big man Drew Timme and guard Andrew Nembhard. Gonzaga is the rightful favorite to win the Nets. But if you go over to the SEC, which in my opinion is the most competitive conference in college basketball this season, you see two worthy national title contenders and a few dark horses. But let's start with Auburn. They were just on a 19-game win streak with future top 5 pick Jabari Smith. They have a really dynamic backcourt in Katie Johnson and Wendell Green, but also rim protector Walker Kessler, number 1 in the country in block rate. This Auburn team could win in a myriad of different ways. They are a rightful contender, plus 800 over at WynnBET right now. They're also joined at 800 by Kentucky, led by National Player of the Year candidate Oscar Tshiebwe, best rebounder in the country. 15 rebounds a game, number 1 in offensive rebounding rate. They're a great blend of veterans, transfer talent like Kellen Grady from Davidson. He's shooting over 40% from 3 this year. And also 5-star guard Ty Washington. He's been a little banged up of late, but Washington is the straw that stirs the drink for this Kentucky offense that has top 15 in both KenPom's offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency metric. Kentucky's primed for a run. They can win you on offense and on defense. Now, let's go over to the Big Ten, where there's a lot of quality teams, like you have your Michigan State, your Ohio State, Iowa, Wisconsin with National Player of the Year candidate Johnny Davis, but it's a 2-team race at the top. Purdue has the number 1 offense in the country, another future top 5 pick in Jaden Ivey, 7'4" big man Zach Edey, and one of the best passing big men to come around college basketball in the last decade in Travion Williams. But it's the defense that gives me a lot of concern. They're outside the top 100 in KenPom's defensive efficiency metric. They were just blitzed on the road by Michigan. They had to scrap by an under 500 Maryland team in conference play. So Purdue is a bit iffy to me. And the more balanced team, maybe the safer play come tournament time, is actually Illinois. They're just outside the top 20 in KenPom's adjusted efficiency metrics on both sides of the ball, but they have another big man that is a National Player of the Year candidate in Kofi Coburn and some great shooting around him, and Alfonso Plummer and Trent Frazier. Keep an eye on Illinois. They might be peaking come tournament time. Now, let's talk about maybe an underrated conference that you guys might not know much about, but you're going to want to know about them come tournament time. It's the Mountain West. They're probably going to end up with at least 4 teams in the tournament, and arguably they might get 5 in, depending on how the tournament shakes out, which would be the most since 2013. But there's 4 teams that you're going to need to keep an eye on. It's Wyoming and Colorado State, who are each top 25 in offensive efficiency, and Boise State and San Diego State, who are each just outside. Boise's top 11 in defense. San Diego State is the second best defense in the country. Both teams are likely going to make, all 4 teams are likely going to make the tournament. And I wouldn't be shocked if a pair of them make the second weekend. These teams are legit. They're throwing out absolutely insane games on a nightly basis, usually in that late night window, like 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern time. You're going to want to watch these teams. They play hard, they play strong, and I like them to make some runs come tournament time. If you want to get some long shots, some of them aren't even on the board at WynnBET Sportsbook right now. And I went this long without talking about Duke. Everyone wants to talk about Duke. It's Coach Krzyzewski's last year. I understand. They have arguably the number 1 pick and best prospect in the country in Paolo Banchero, but the ACC's down this year. Only a handful of teams are going to make the tournament. Duke is the only team ranked in the AP top 25. And this lack of experience and lack of tough games is really starting to show itself. They just blew a double-digit lead to Wake Forest earlier this week. They lost at home to a subpar Virginia team this year, as well as Miami. This Duke team isn't getting the necessary reps in high-level games to win. I know earlier this season they beat Gonzaga on a neutral, but it's been a long season, and Gonzaga has grown this season. Duke has somewhat taken a step back. I'm a little wary of Duke come tournament time. They're currently 10-1 over at WynnBET to win it all. I'm steering clear of them ahead of the tournament, unless I see something change over the next month. But listen, that was just a Spark Notes version. I tried to fit in as much content as possible in this video. You can check my guide to new college basketball bettors over at BetSided. You can read about why I'm betting Kentucky to win it all at BetSided. You can read why I'm fading that same Duke and Purdue team over at BetSided. We have so much content on a daily basis for you. Just make sure you go to www.fanside.com/BetSided for all your college basketball content ahead of the NCAA tournament.